Good morning, Church by the Sea kids. Thanks for joining me this Sunday morning. We're going to make Alleluia crosses today, which, as you can see here, are crosses with kind of a very cool painted tie-dye-esque effect. So you're going to get some materials together, and you'll see those here. As you're gathering those materials or asking your parents to, you can pause this video at any time. The materials you'll need this morning are a piece of paper, a little thicker piece of paper is best, some paintbrushes, a paper plate, paint, water in a cup to clean your paintbrushes with, paper towels to kind of clean up. It's hard to see in this photo, but in the upper left-hand corner, and this is an important part of this craft, are two crunched up plastic bags that I found in my recycling bin. These are the type that you'd find at a grocery store and you'd buy produce in. Also, if you don't find those, just a plastic Publix, like a plastic grocery bag that's all crunched up and wrinkled would be good. And then you can see in the foreground kind of a blue circle. That's blue painter's tape, which is like a low-tack masking tape. So if you have that, great. If you don't, maybe ask your parents for regular masking tape. And if you don't have any of that, that's why the scissors are there. We have a plan B that you can use instead of tape, so just hold on for that. So today I have my daughter Carolyn here with me. Say hi, Carolyn.
Hello.
Now Carolyn's going to tell you what you can do if you don't have tape.
So you can get another piece of paper, thicker is also better, and you can cut two long pieces of rectangles and place them on a cross, and that will act as your blue tape.
Yeah, so if you don't have the tape, you can use that paper laid on top of our white paper. So next you're going to pick up your masking tape or your painter's tape, and you're going to place a piece vertically down the center of your white paper. Then you're going to cut the end so it's a nice crisp end, and then you'll take a little bit shorter piece and lay it horizontally. So you're going to be creating a cross there on your white paper.
It's Carolyn again. So you're going to get your paper plate and put some of your favorite color paints on there.
So grab a paintbrush and dip it in one color. You might want to kind of thin the paint out a tiny bit with a dip in the water as well. And once you've done that, you want to start kind of dabbing it around one corner of your cross. Doesn't matter where you start at all, really. So stick with that, and you just do one little dab and kind of spread it out with your brush. And then you can go back and clean your brush in the water. And if you want, go in for another color. Here you see I've started with orange and I'm progressing to yellow. I'm not really spreading the paint out, I'm just dabbing it. And you can see that my third color I've gone for is fuchsia, like a hot pink, and I'm also dabbing that. So once we get to that point, kind of stop and put down the paintbrush. So now pick up that crunched up plastic bag in your hands, and we're going to kind of use that plastic bag as if it were a sponge. It has a similar effect, and we're going to kind of press down like as if we're stamping the paint we've already laid down with our paintbrush, and we're going to kind of pull up. So we don't want to move the paint around by dragging it around, rather we want to push down and then pull up, and that's what that motion is what creates that cool kind of sponge-like texture in the paint. Continue pressing down your plastic bag and pulling it up all the way around the cross to kind of work those colors into each other. So you can dip your paintbrush in a blue or a teal or a green and kind of start dabbing again with your paintbrush on the corners of the paper. That's how I did it. I did kind of the warm colors in the center of the cross, and then the perimeter of the paper, the outside, I did my teal, my turquoisey blue. And so you can see I'm kind of filling in with the paintbrush, and when I'm done with that, I'm going to take the clean bag, and I'm going to start pressing down my plastic and pulling it up to create that cool kind of tie-dye effect around the perimeter, kind of merging the cool and the warm colors. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this image. Now when you do, set it aside and let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes because the paper is probably a little bit damp. Once it's dried for 5 or 10 minutes, start very carefully peeling away the tape, and you're left with this cool image of a negative space or white paper cross with this burst of color coming from behind it towards us. And that's our Alleluia cross. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. By the way, have your parents send me a photo of this cross, and we'll see if we can get it up on the church's Instagram account.